Okay, so this is gonna be me breaking down my today's position, today's long on NQ which I took. So obviously starting from the daily chart, as always, following yes. भाई मैंने मार्च लानी है चार्जर उतारते कैसे ही लैग करना लग जाता है चार्जर पे फाड़ like bullish order flow as we can clearly see opposing candles being respected, EQ of these opposing candles being respected. So framing continuation away from it. YM swept out this previous day low. So SMT there. So framing NQ because it had better framework. Then aligning the idea with hourly charts. Why NQ and why not ES? NQ had better draws for me, to me. If you have a look at ES, this looked like kind of protected high. So when I have the choice of choosing an asset, even though this price reached there as well, but when I do have the choice of choosing an asset with the high resistance high and then with the asset with low resistance, I would always choose this one. So the reason of choosing NQ being this, and then just trading the daily profile towards the objective. Now Asia reversal, so framing continuation around New York session. Here, New York session. This high resting here was a relevant high as price could logically reverse off of this. So I was wanting to see how price reacts to this high, as if this high was meant to stay protected in ES, then this would have been the high, making price go lower, be it a retracement, be it a reversal. So that's why I was more concerned about how price reacts to this high, be it NQ, be it ES, this high right there. So I was wanting to see how price reacts there, and then prior to a 930 driver, there comes a leg of retracement. So if the day is supposed to be bullish, the driver should expand towards the objective. Then when a retracement leg has already happened prior to the driver, so then driver comes, expands, validating the idea a bit, then I am not immediately wanting to take an entry because price could logically reverse off of this high, reverse off of this relevant swing, as this and this have enough separation between them. So price could logically reverse off of this, and ES could more so reverse off of this because this was a protected high in ES. This is low resistance in NQ, that's why I was preferring NQ long. But thinking the opposite way, ES was totally logically valid to reverse off of this high, this being a protected swing, then this being the next relevant swing. So if he has wanted to, it could have framed it lower. So one reason I was not wanting to frame ES here, and the second reason I was not wanting to frame immediately after that driver released 930 driver. I was wanting to see how it reacts to there. Then switching time frames, I know nothing for the moment if it is displacing through it or reversing off of it. But one thing I can see is expansion into an objective. Expansion into this objective for price changes its phase, which is consolidation. Consolidation is a continuation signature to me. And then if you see the M15 chart as well, price used this level, and instead of reversing off of this, it formed a true breakout, displacing through it, so making the bullish idea more validated. So I aligned the M1 with the M15 candle and then used the M3 closer. This M15 candle expanding away from this 930 driver towards the objective, validating the bullish idea and displacing through this, forming true breakout over it, making him more confident with the bullish idea. Just give me a second. So if you go on to the M3 and M1, this M15 candle, right? The next M15 opens here, 945, open low, sweeps out a opposing swing. Meanwhile, using that relevant swing of the hourly chart, displacing through it and not aggressively returning back into the range, right? And when it shows up when it sweeps out this, immediately moves away, I can sense a true breakout over this high, that M15 or hourly high. So using this 945 open low high close logic in the daily candles direction, so use this M3 closer over here. This SMT as well was on the M1. This or this, I guess so. This one, right? This one. So a crack in correlation, but even though NQ was the weaker, but high tensile framework was better for NQ. That's why I preferred NQ. So took after this closure here, took optimized entry around there. We must stop there. Viewing this as a true breakout over this range and towards the objective. Therefore, this was my long for today. And then aligned with the 10 a.m. open low, established low below 10 a.m.'s opening price. 10 a.m. open, move higher without any established low, came back, formed the wick of the 10 a.m., established a displacement away. Then I trailed my stop to there and towards the objective ultimately. And even if price wanted to reverse off of this high, I would have wanted an immediate return back inside the range. Like a relevant level, price hits it, immediately returns back inside. But if it struggles returning back inside and immediately starts displacing away from it, I view it as a true breakout over this relevant level. And when you have existing draw, then you use this as a framework or as a means of entry to frame the continuation towards this, which is the same thing I used today. And many people would have taken this long 930 closer over these candles, but this is valid just based off patterns, just based off price structures, but not valid based off of logic, because at this moment I do not know if price would reverse off of this relevant swing, this one, or break through this. At this moment I do know nothing, so I am demanding more from price. It would have been proper valid if it would have been reversed from me. That's why I was not like using this as a means of entry, just as a means of framework. I wanted to see how price reacts to this level, like struggles to come back inside, immediately starts moving away. This tells me it is not showing any relevance to this level. So framing continuation over it, true breakout over it, framing the continuation towards the existing objective. This existing objective, breaking through this, and then framing the continuation. This was my position today. Next don't speak. और भाई मेरा नेट इतना फाड़ कहाँ से जाता है सेशन टाइम, मेरे को कभी कोई समझाओ। अगर ये लोड नहीं होगी, देखते हैं। This I took optimize entry. After this closure, I took optimize entry here. Use this as I already showed you. Price not reversing off of this immediately comes back and immediately starts displacing away. So not showing any relevance to this level, breaking through this. So framing the continuation, you can clearly see this candle using this as an inverse level, not reversing off of this, instead displacing to it and using it to frame the continuation to the objective. This was the objective to break out, frame that to break out over this. And then daily charts logic, obviously bullish order flow, opposing candles, relevant opposing candles being respected, relevant opposing candles, relevant opposing candles, and that was it. I could break down more of my trades in next sessions maybe, but that's it for the moment. If you have any doubts, you can ask, else I will wrap up this session. RTY1 was a counter trend idea, so I don't prefer to explain it because it may do more harm than good to you people. Even I personally took the RTY1 on the eval and not on the main account, so don't worry much about it, and that's why I didn't bother much about posting the top down of RTY as well. If no more doubts, I would end the recording, then continue talking. Yes, this, but instead used the M3 closure, used framework from here M15, and then use the M3 closure clean series, and I could sense the projection in the more clean, obviously. So no doubts. Okay, I would end the session. That was it for today. Meet you till the next time.